We're talking about permanent color versus demi-permanent color. Which one works best for gray hair? Good morning, Bernard. Good morning.
Semi or demi?
Demi.
Semi or demi? Which is better for covering gray hair?
No, permanent or demi. Semi is not even part of the conversation. There's no way. If you're covering gray with semi color, then you really don't have enough gray to talk about, worth talking about nothing, you know?
Isn't demi just semi and permanent mixed together?
No. What? Like, I gotta think about that for a second. Wait, what? No.
It's right in the middle. So we're talking about gray coverage.
Semi is direct deposit. It only sits on top of the surface of the cuticle, on top of the hair shaft. It don't penetrate further. So it's supposed to wash out within a couple of washes. A demi-permanent color doesn't have ammonia, but it's using peroxide to help penetrate the outer layer, the cuticle. So it's going to drive a little deeper into the hair shaft and exact change. Permanent color is using ammonia and it's using peroxide. So it's completely removing any natural pigmentation and replacing it with artificial pigment. And that is, in its name, permanently changing the whole thing.
And so why is gray such a topic? Why is it harder to change gray over regular colored hair or any other color hair? It always seems to be harder. I mean, we always talk about resistant or gray coverage. There's a lot to talk about with gray because there's percentages of gray and then there's difficulty of even getting gray to change, right?
So here's a fun fact for you. There is no such thing. There is 5 different versions of gray, maybe 7. I don't recall off the top of my head exactly. I just know the main ones that I know about. I can list off about 5 myself, but it technically should be referred to as unpigmented hair,
right?
Because the color gray is still a version of some kind of mixture, whether it's 25, 50, 75, 100%, right? But we just commonly refer to it as gray hair. When you say unpigmented hair, now it kind of starts explaining why it's such a topic, because your hair has 2 purposes: to grow and to produce pigmentation. Obviously, when it becomes unpigmented, that means it's still growing. It just has lost its strength to keep producing its pigment.
Mine has a third purpose: beauty.
Beauty is where we start sculpting it. That's where we the hair care experts come in.
I think that a lot of people would disagree and say that there's more purposes than just those 2 things.
No, okay. Your hair growing, what we can't control.
Okay.
Autonomously, or how's that called? Like when you blink, you don't control involuntarily. Your hair grows and produces pigment. That's its job.
Okay.
What we do with it afterwards, yeah, there's a whole thing of what we do with it afterwards. But at its core, that's its purpose. It grows and it produces pigmentation. As we age, as we get older, our bodies just are not producing as much vitamins or amino acids or keratin proteins and stuff like that. So it starts to lose its strength. It can still grow, but it's still not strong enough to produce pigment anymore. So now you start losing your primary, and secondary pigmentations in your hair, and it starts to go away. That's where you start to see the different versions of the unpigmented or the gray that we talk about. You got your smoker gray, which is that yucky yellow looking tingy old lady color.
Kind of stained, right, from the smoke in the cigarettes.
I mean, that's what we used to refer to it as. But even nowadays, if you have so much yellow, primary yellow in your hair, then even if you've never smoked a day in your life, if your hair, you just can catch that crappy tonal color. It's not a pretty color.
No, right.
And then the opposite of that, you got that silver fox, and that's what they're always talking about with especially with the men. Oh, they're so distinguished. It's so blah, blah, blah,
But why is gray in general harder to get color to stay on?
Well,
Because
color works like magnets. They attract to each other.
no,
So
oh,
when
okay.
you lose the natural pigment out of your hair, then there isn't a base for the artificial pigment to grab onto so strong. So that's why it's such a more pain of the butt. That's why you always got to fill and deposit and anchor in that pigmentation.
So the gray hair, it doesn't have like a stronger cuticle or tighter cuticle or harder to open. Because I know some people will try to soften gray hair. They'll call it soften. In the old days, there were so many tips and tricks. Leave it longer, higher peroxide, put peroxide on the gray hair first before color.
Yeah.
Filling is one of the options. So many things going on. And I was just curious, which one of those is actually the best idea to get gray to cover or color better? I know I'm starting with the questions because I really don't know, but I know you have a list of questions.
No, it's okay. This is fun. It's like, oh, now I know how you feel when I hit you with the question.
Yeah.
The thing about, so all of the above of what you said are valid ways, even nowadays are valid ways. Back then, and when I say back then, I'm saying 20 years ago, it's still within our career time. You know, since the 80s and 90s, that's when color really started getting popular and becoming a thing. It's always been around, but it didn't become as commercialized as we know it today. And then in the early 2000s, especially, is when it really exploded and people were coming in nonstop every day, every 4 weeks, every 3-4 weeks. Color is amazing. And this is why I'm against letting people go natural. I don't agree with it in my personal opinion, because color gives you protection. It gives you smoothness. It gives you weight, fullness, thickness. It gives you shine, sheen, however you want to call it, right? UV protection, all the things we talk about when we talk about beautiful, healthy, strong hair. When we talk about doing hair extensions, it gives you all this volume and fullness and thickness and more hair. When we talk about a perfect haircut with layers, when we talk about treatments, all the great things we reference, that's what hair color does. And when your hair naturally loses it and it starts going gray, unpigmented, it starts losing all of that. So your cuticle layer, your outer layer starts getting messed up really bad. It becomes more resistant. It becomes tighter. It's not as soft. It becomes drier. All the negative stuff that we say all the time about damaged hair or wiry hair or hard to deal with compromised hair. A lot of that factor comes in when you lose your natural pigmentation. So coloring is so vital, and that's why it becomes more complicated when you start losing that natural pigmentation. Using developer to pre-soften, using chelating shampoos, clarifying shampoos, using gray drops, the magic drops, right? There's so many different pre-coloring before you put the actual color, pre-filling, toning. There's so many ways of going about it that because it has become such a cluster. We can't cuss.
Cluster fun.
Yeah, because it's so fun to try to cover gray hair. I caught myself.
So with me, I cover my grays on the side, all over actually, but we use a deposit only color. We'll use like a Bruise. I think it's called Color Bruise by Redken. And so as far as I understand, it's not a color that lifts and deposits. Like, how most color you can put on hair, it'll go darker or lighter within 2 or 3 levels. Well, this only goes darker, right? And so it's permanent color, I think.
It's demi. That's your demi color.
That would be demi. So if it's not stripping your hair of some color and adding color, that's what you're going to call demi.
If any color has ammonia in it, I don't care what percentage or how much, or if it has an ammonia substitute. A lot of color lines claim to be ammonia free.
Yeah.
Well, okay, fine. That just means you're substituting the main ingredient, ammonia, with some substitute. That doesn't mean it's any better or any worse. In most cases it is worse. But anyways, it just means that you're still causing some degree of lift and then some degree of deposit. That is permanent color at its core. Demi is only focusing deposit only. It shouldn't say ammonia free. It should say no ammonia.
So what I like about this deposit only, if you're only going darker and you're not going lighter, I often wonder what the reason for permanent color would be, other than it might stay a little bit longer. But I like on a guy with shorter hair to have deposit only, because when it fades off, it doesn't fade to that orangey reddish color that my brown would have as an undertone. Because if we color with permanent color, it's, first of all, it's going to cover more of the grays, and I want to look a little more natural and keep some of them. But if I cover more of it, even if I use some fancy techniques and just brush it on lightly, so we don't cover it all, we don't get full coverage, so it looks like it still has some gray. When it goes to fade, it's going to fade to an orangey color, because the few browns in there get stripped of some color to some reddish orange color, then redeposited with the artificial color that turns it whatever brown we want, so it's not gray anymore. But then when that brown fades off, you see that reddish orange color. And too many guys use permanent color, and I don't like the way it looks, unless they're going black like you or blonde. But in the medium, light to medium to darker brown colors, there's a lot of orange in there, and the fading to an orange, to me, ends up looking terrible on most guys when they're trying to cover their grays. And a deposit only, we always said, fades on tone. Like, it's just going to fade off the hair, and it's actually going to be still gray underneath there and not orange. You have any opinions on all of that?
Those are all great points that you bring up. There's a lot to unpack there.
Yeah.
But it's fun. This is the whole fun. Some of what you said is a subjective opinion of your own. Some of it has a lot of accuracy to it. And these are the reasons why. Most people don't want to look like some faded out, brassy. Everybody's always talking about brassy, right? Nobody wants to purposefully look brassy.
Right.
When done correctly for a reason, it looks really cool. And then we look at that and we're like, wow, check her out. Or, we don't usually say check him out. No dude wants to be brassy. But usually when a woman goes for brassy hair specifically, it's a very targeted look. It's a very fashion forward look. That's how we categorize it as, because otherwise brassiness in general is not a pretty color. It's not a pretty look, and it's a pain in the butt to deal with.
Right. As an opinion, right.
A lot of guys especially guys go for demi color, because like you said, it fades on tone. The reason why it does that is because it's not changing the natural color as much, rather than covering over it. So as it starts to wash off, that's what just starts showing through some of the leftover tones of the demi color itself, and then the natural pigmentation in there. When you're referring to permanent color, so demi permanent color is going to give you that blended effect. It's not necessarily going to give you 100% coverage. The porosity, there's so many variables that would have to fit so perfectly in alignment for you to get 100% coverage from demi color.
Like leaving it on longer and adding some heat sometimes.
You can tweak it out that way too sometimes, to manipulate it, to try to drive it further than intended. With permanent color, on the other hand, that is its entire job. It's designed to go in there, pull all your natural pigment out of your hair, try to diffuse all of it down, and then replace it with whatever the color you're putting back in. So now that becomes your baseline color. The whole game with that at that point is figuring out what tonal value, because you have a level, you have dark to light, black to blonde, and everything in between. But then you also have horizontally a whole series of tonal values that you got to deal with as well. And one of the most, I don't know how to say this without pissing everybody off. Here's a fun fact for you. Here's the reality. Do you know what the number one level of hair color and tone, the level and tone, both, the number one selling hair color is of all time?
Level 6.
What tone?
Oh, I don't know what tone. I would say natural or neutral.
The number one selling 6N
6N.
in whatever color line you're using sells more, almost 1.5 to 2 times more than every other shade and level of color combined. Think about that for a minute. It is accurate to say that 60% of the entire United States,
probably the world,
and further expanded to the rest of the world, is some variation of level 6, level 5, or level 7, all in the ends. It's the number one selling freaking color. Now, what is an N series? It's natural. Natural in hair color is red, yellow, blue. Those are your primary colors that you're working with.
Mm-hmm.
When you start to lose, so the balance, and if you're going to get really science nerd out on this thing, we need 3 yellow molecules, 2 red molecules, and 1 blue molecule to balance it out to give you that nice, perfect brown. That's what they talk about, right?
Right.
When you start going gray, you start losing those pigment molecules. So it starts throwing off. Some people look brassy. Some people, because they lose the blue, they only have a little red, little yellow left over. Some people turn that smoker gray we were talking about. They lose all the red and blue. They only have yellow left. So they start losing different pigments in their hair, and that becomes the variation of whatever gray they are, unpigmented they are. So now you go in and you throw an N over that. The problem is, in my opinion, and I'm backing this up with years and decades of research, is if you lost the blue and the red pigment, you only have yellow left. Or if you lost blue and you have half your red left and a little bit of yellow left, and you put the N over it, which is red, yellow, and blue, you're not balancing anything out. You're adding the missing blue back in there, but you're just over-enhancing, overloading the extra red and yellow. So what happens is, as it starts to wash out, the blue goes away naturally because that's the largest pigment. That's the first thing to go. Then the red and yellow is left over, but it's been enhanced because you doubled up on those. That's why it looks brassy as hell. It's annoying to me that everybody uses the N to cover gray all the time. And I get it. That's
because you should be using what to cover gray mostly.
A lot of people use N in their formulas to cover gray.
And what are you saying should be used more often? Usually,
the missing pigmentation, balance out the formula, man. You know,
look at the hair and make a decision.
Yeah,